I always feel like I'm bugging you because you have so much going. But I know how passionate you are for pool, and I think me and you are quite a bit the same way. We're both very passionate about this game specifically, and I know what you've put into it and how hard you've worked almost independently to make things happen. And now that we have the team of Ultimate Pool USA, we have, of course, our CEO, Scott Ryan, and our president, Jordan, all these people behind it. Nate Kane now is, I guess he's a league manager, is that correct? I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, he's the league operations manager, so he's
there we go.
Kind of sees more of the day-to-day with the ops and things, so he's kind of under fire all the time more than I am.
So really, we put in place a great team to be able to get the league going, and we've made some big announcements, and I know there's more to come, but the biggest one is our grand finals, and that's going to happen in October in 2025. I don't have a location yet. I tried to get Simon to spill the beans, and he wouldn't budge, and I know you're not going to do it either, so I'm just going to sit and wait like everybody else.
Yeah, it's we can't spill the beans yet.
I'm going to get it out of you at some point. I'm going to hop you up on coffee or something and let you slip.
But, not sure how Joe got himself in that position. We was talking there, but that was a bad one, huh?
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the league later on, but we do have a very competitive match here, and luckily we're just fresh into it, about a minute and a half. It is 0-0. Joe Prince, two guys you would expect to see in the final 32.
Yeah.
And they're playing very early in this tournament.
Yeah, tough draw this early. I'm sure neither player was happy about it.
And there's multiple matches like that. You have Sam Henderson and Ricky Evans from a rematch from the shootout last night.
Yeah, I'm betting Ricky's looking for some revenge there.
Yeah, Payne McBride and Caden Herbach is another great match. And, well, that's an interesting miss there. That's not a normal miss from Dave Matlock.
No, very uncharacteristic miss there. He's got to settle in. First game. Seen a couple mistakes already. So.
Yeah. We will get to see Tom Cousins in the arena this morning as well. So lots of good matches coming up. Joe's got a little work to do here. The 2 and the 12 ball being tied up does not make things easy, especially with where that 8 ball is.
Yeah, a bit scary there, huh? Trying to break that up. Is he going for it here?
This is such a sketchy shot. Oh my goodness.
That's a great shot there.
Yeah, the breakout shot there was really tough, and it was a little scary because of how close he had to get to the side pocket, and he really hit it good.
Did a deceleration to that stroke there.
That's not something you see with a lot of the European guys, but
No.
Joe, and I've said this multiple times, and I'm not going to beat the dead horse, but I feel like Joe has adapted to the American balls and the American tables. As far as the Europeans go, I think he's done the best at adapting to this style, and he's shown it with 2 open finals.
Yeah, absolutely. His results show. And I've talked to him a little bit. He's playing some 9-ball events in Europe as well, and so he's really getting familiar with the American game. Forever, but it's just, yeah, once you see it in person, it's, wow. It's about half the size of our ball, it seems like.
Yeah, and I'm actually, you guys follow me on social media. I'm going to post a picture right here.
It's a great break there by Dave.
That's a huge break.
There's no time here.
Dave, for being an older player, he sure does play quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He had some of the fastest matches on the shootout last night. He does not play around.
I love watching this game. his knowledge of the rails and then just moving around the cue ball with the cue balls. We've seen a little bit of it last night. I think he hit like a 3-rail draw shot around to get in behind the 8 ball.
My goodness. You know, we talked about him, and he's not super fond of his nickname, and I told him, I said, we're going to help you come up with a new nickname. I'm voting for the human highlight reel.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is a highlight reel of pool.
Quick work of this rack here. Tie it up.
It's all about pattern play. It's all about knowing the strategy of how to move, when to move, and where to move to.
Kind of came off the side of that. Still ended up with a good spread.
You know, if you didn't watch the Colorado Open, Tom Cousins lost 2 matches, and they were both to Joe Prince. Once prior to the final 32, and once after he got him in the redraw. And if you ask Tom what happened in that match, he'll flat out tell you that Joe Prince's break was unbelievable. And it looks like that form has continued here with the break. I think he's finally figured it out. He was having some trouble last night, but after looking at that one, I think he's finally figured it out. And if he has, everybody in this tournament is in trouble, because this is a guy who literally has seen back-to-back finals. He's yet to win a trophy, but you got to think it's coming soon.
Yeah, he's right there. So it's right there. Don't try to do anything fancy. Just take what the table gives him. Just roll it in.
You like just rolling it in and leaving yourself for the 15?
Yeah, I think so.
He may even have the 14. I like the 15, then the 14, then the 9. But really, he can do it however he chooses. I like trying to stay clear of that 2 ball.
Yeah, I think either way he's fine, but you're right. If 2 balls right there, you can.
He's given himself a really good angle to avoid the 2, so won't be an issue. His speed control is really good. He ended up a little interesting here. I don't think he wanted this much angle. His natural cue ball path is going to move into that 4. Should be okay, but there's always a chance of something going wrong. And this table, like we talked about, it has gotten just a smidge tighter overnight. We've seen a couple of bobbled balls.
That's a good shot there. Uses all of the pocket. Trying to avoid the 4 ball there.
Yeah, it's not the straightest shot on the 8 ball, but he's probably a 95% favorite to make this ball.
I think I heard you. You said 99.
Well, and this is what I really like about Joe, is his composure. If he sees something he doesn't like, he has the wherewithal to stand up, reset. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Wow. And the cue ball movement almost produced a scratch, but he's going to come out okay with the ball. Now, the pattern, the opportunity here, I think stripes is the way to go. With the 9 and the 14 up top there. Dave thinks so too. 12 ball. Going to be going to the side pocket. Dave's going to rethink it and say, I'm going to do that in a minute. Not yet. I think that's a mistake there. I played that a little funny.
Feels a bit like he's scrambling here.
Yeah, it just seems like maybe he got out of line a little bit and he's having to play catch up.
Yeah.
And it's the proverbial hole. If you keep digging and you keep throwing dirt out, eventually you're not going to have room to jump out of the hole. But he's done well to adapt and get back in line. This 8-ball, it's going to be interesting. He's going to leave himself for a shot in the side pocket. I don't think it goes in the corner. Oh. Another uncharacteristic miss from David Matlock.
Go ahead and address the problem. That's what all the greats do, right? They address the problem right out of the...
As soon as possible. And that's definitely the way to do it. When he's played that ball really well and set himself up for an easy pattern to get out here. I like the 1 to the 7. He's going to take the 7 first. He's going to play the 7 to the 5 and probably leave his 3 ball for his last ball. Take what you can get. Don't try and force anything. Generally, when these guys make mistakes, it's because they're trying to force position. There's a fine line between forcing it and taking what you can get, and Joe did a really good job there of just taking what he could get.
He's not really pocketing the ball as clean as we usually see from him. Could be with intent, though, knowing they can cheat the pocket. So.
Yeah, I agree. Part of being an elite player is understanding how you can manipulate the pockets to help you get position. A really good player knows which side of the pocket he's going to hit. Really, really good run there. That was a huge mistake by Dave.
Oh, it doesn't count in this format. That's right.
Yeah, no golden break in this format. That's a shootout rule. If you're looking for some golden breaks, we may see some later tonight during the mixed pairs event. I know you're excited about that one. It's going to be a phenomenal event. But a few more matches in the Open before we get that figured out. And I think Joe really wants to take the stripes here. But he just doesn't have a great opening shot and may be forced to play the solids. Neither one is bad.
It's in play.
See, I think he's going to look at playing the 7 ball here to get up to the 2 quickly. He changed his mind there. He took on a tough shot. That 3 in the side was tight.
Yeah, that was interesting first shot. I feel like that was like a UK pattern there. To play for the side pocket, because Americans, I think, would spin that with a high right ball and come up above the 3, the 6, 7,
yeah.
And that other ball, you know, where he stayed underneath. I could be wrong there. Of course, the player sees the angle better than I, but
Yeah, I mean, we've never missed anything from in here, but
not a 1.
Being on the table is a little different. I still think that he may have made a pattern error there. because now he's kind of on the 50-yard line. He's got to stun this ball with a little bit more power to keep the cue ball in line for the 6. I mean, I think he could have won this a little easier, but it doesn't really matter as long as he gets out. And he played that. That was a great shot. A lot of control went into that shot.
Yeah, when you hit recovery shots like that, who needs shape, you know?
Joe Prince really playing at a high level here. David Matlock is not somebody that I ever want to draw first in the tournament if I'm trying to win it. Great job there by Joe. 6-3 for Pedro over Shadrick, and of course we are 4-1. David Matlock and Joe Prince here. David breaking with a big break, but it's kind of all clustered up. The 8-ball, 9, 10, and 5 are kind of in a bad spot here. And David's quickly going to take those stripes.
Curious what he's doing here, what he's got in mind for this.
You know, initially when I looked at the table, I thought I would prefer the solids. But he looks like he has a plan, so maybe there's something that I can't see. I'm wondering if his cue ball can get in between the 10 and the 5 to shoot the 9 in the corner. Well, it doesn't matter.
That's why he was player of the decade in 1980s. This guy, he just sees it differently.
And not a knock on his age, but Dave Matlock is definitely of the older caliber. He could be a contender for player of the century for the 90s, really, or for the 1900s. The guy's played good for you ever.
Oh, he's all right.
You're kind of in the same position I am. Growing up in a pool hall, you hear stories about these legends, and then you meet them, and then you see them play, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, Dave was like an idol as I was growing up. You'd be in a pool hall, and you'd hear people talking about matching up or this and that, and then his name was always brought up.
Oh,
and then,
no.
Oh.
Sorry, that was crazy. But yeah, as you were mentioning, his name gets brought up, and it's almost like like one of those mythical stories that you hear about creatures or heroes or something, whatever it is. It's then when you meet him in person, it's really cool because Dave's one of the most down-to-earth guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, and I heard stories all throughout my juniors and playing, and then when I did finally meet him and see him play, he lived up to the hype, that's for sure. So, and a great guy. I love talking to him, great conversation.
If I ever decided to do a podcast, wink, wink, I think my first two people on that podcast would be Dave Matlock and Greg Hogue. Stories for days.
Oh, that'll be a good time there.
Maybe at the same time. Joe is really playing to a high level here, and Dave making a couple of unforced errors that have allowed Joe to get the lead that he has.
Yeah, a couple missed balls from Dave, and a positional error there. That's the difference. Joe had that one spot where he got himself hooked, and other than that, he's played pretty flawless here.
Yeah, the flawlessness will continue, just an 8-ball away from having a 4-game lead on the legendary David Matlock. Great showing by Joe Prince here. He's in firm control. All right, big break here. What? Jeez.
I think there's a leak.
How many balls were just made on that?
Looks like 4, 5. 5 balls.
Well, when you make 5 balls on the break, you're channeling somebody. And I don't know who it is, but it really incredible break. Bad thing is he doesn't have a good opener. He's having to take a little bit of a flyer, and he's missed it. So huge break, and just no opportunity at it. And Dave's going to steal a rack here, I think.
Yeah, it's just still an open table. It's in a tough spot, but it's fine. Like he can get there. There's plenty of opportunity to either get it out of there or just shoot it down in his bottom left. So. Shot there.
I've seen a little bit of this where Dave just seems to not be in the same form that we've seen him at.
Oh, this is.
He got some major spin on that cue ball, but he's left himself absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was an interesting shot. I'd like to watch that one back and see how he got down there like that.
I tell you what, there's a shot here, and it's crazy. You can come behind the 11, kick it one rail up. Almost kind of like this. He needs a spin to go. He can't get there. Dave was in a position there that he did not want to be in. He was gifted an opportunity at this rack, and didn't work out well for him. I think if I'm Joe here, I think I have to take the 2 ball first to move that 11 out. It's going to be fine, though.
Yeah, I mean that 2 off the 11 was kind of a big ask. To be fair, especially when the 3 is almost the same shot.
Yeah, I
Without
actually
having to open it. You know?
I didn't think it would go in the side, and I thought it might have been funny to the corner, but he played it really well.
Although we both know that 2 would probably slide past that 11 on these pockets.
Either slide past or just the small bump. Well, either one, but yeah, I mean the table is playing very, very slick.
Yeah. No, I mean, our last table was under 4-inch pockets, and they still play big with the new felt. It's just nature of the beast with new felt.
Any table with brand new felt is always going to play, upwards of maybe even an inch bigger than it really is. You will be able to go and look at all the scores for all the events that are going on, including the ladies, the juniors. You can check out the finished bracket from the shootout last night. All of that on ultimatepoolusa.com. Another good break here. Saw a ball down.
Yeah, I think you're just seeing some frustration now and just get it over with kind of mode.
Yeah. And
not that he's going to give up by any means, but I've been in this position. I think we all have. It's just like, all right, let's get on with it.
yeah, it's a big ask to come back from 6-1 down, alternate break. So sometimes you feel like maybe you just want to get out of the situation you're in and reset a little bit. And that's without the conversation of the fact that Joe Priggs is playing absolutely phenomenal, other than 1 or 2 very rare missed shots.
Natural run around 2 rails. on the 5.
And Joe's really looking like the same Joe from Kansas City, the same Joe from Colorado. Looking absolutely great. And Joe Prince just one ball away from getting on the 8 ball on the hill against Dave Matlock. And if this ball drops, Joe Prince does defeat Dave Matlock in these first winners rounds. Congratulations to Joe. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me.